Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax, kick up your feet as we get into this week's read. Tonight we'll be reading Loving Topaz, a novella by James Colwell. Head on over to Amazon.com and download your books today. Come and support our authors. But we're going to get into this book. Loving Topaz. Tell a friend to tell a friend and then tell their friends. We over here reading, y'all. But let's get into this book. Are you ready? Shh. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner, where tonight we will begin our series of Loving Topaz by yours truly, Mr. James Colwell. I hope you guys have downloaded your books or purchased your books and supported our author. I will have all of his information in the description box after the video. But I hope you guys are having a great evening. We're going to get into this book. I have not read the book as of yet. Of course, everything that I read, I'll be reading with you guys. So my reaction to the book will be your reaction if this is your first time hearing it. If it's not your first time hearing or reading it, thank you guys for coming over here to listen with us anyways. Heavy on a disclaimer, from what I'm told. There will be a bunch of cussing and other stuff going on in this video. So if you have children around, honey, parental discretion is advised. I ain't got nothing to do with what your kids hear. Okay? Put them in the bed. All right, we're going to begin reading, but I'm going to read the back of the book for you guys so you guys have a little setup of what the book may be about. We'll see. Young Eugene Ballou is facing extreme adversity while dealing with his dysfunctional family. His mother has a boyfriend that is 5 years her junior. His sister is in constant competition with his mother. His brother is tangled in a world of street pharmaceuticals. When a 16-year-old cannot find love at home, where are they to turn? Follow Eugene along his journey to find love for himself, while others around him struggle with loving Topaz. We will be beginning at chapter 1. Meet the Ballous. My name is Eugene Ballou. I'm 16 years old and a junior at Salitz High School. Now, my close friends actually call me Topaz, and I'll explain why in a moment. I'm the youngest of 3. I have a 19-year-old sister named Trianne and an 18-year-old brother named Edward. My mom is a pretty cool chick. She's 32 and her name is Teresa. My mom is she's kind of fly. She's built really cute, and a lot of folks think she's our sister. She really hates that, almost as much as she hates me, if that's even possible. Trianne is interesting. She has her own place, so I don't see her much. We've never really gotten along. She thinks I'm weird. She thinks I'm weird and an embarrassment to her, so she always has been kind of mean to me. So recently, I stopped taking Trianne's crap and started speaking up for myself. So we really just don't talk. My mom gets mad at us for this, but what can I do? I'm gay, and it is what it is. I'm sorry old girl don't like it. She really has ripped me to shreds about this for as long as I can remember. She used to call me faggot and sissy, when I didn't even know what that was. I have learned not to care what she thinks. A lot of times I really think she's a little jealous. My sis is a bit self-centered. Her and my mom can't seem to get along either. It's like she thinks she's always right. No matter what my mom says about anything, it's a guarantee that Trianne will always disagree. My mom says it's because they kind of grew up together. You see, my mom's only 13 years older than Trianne. But whatever. I just think that Trianne is disrespectful and evil. And speaking of evil, it's my total opposite sibling, Edward. We're really two different sides of the street. Where I am smaller and more petite, he is muscular and stands about 6 foot 1 inch tall. I am fun and tend to smile a lot, and Ed doesn't say much and is very standoffish. Really thugged out, if you will. Ed sells drugs and lives a dangerous type of life. He's been out of the house since he was 15. Mom told him to go and live with his dad, since he acts like that group of vultures. Yes, the three of us have different fathers. Like I said, Mom is young and fly. Some of her choices haven't been the best, but she's always done right by me and my siblings. When she put Edward out of the house, she cried for days. I could hear her sobbing through the walls whenever she would be alone in her room. She told him that no child of hers was going to jeopardize the life or the lifestyle that she has worked so hard to create for us here. Ed is hard-headed though. He likes the fast money and stuff that his lifestyle brings. The other side of his family is really into that life. His own dad is the one that turned him on to that life. My mom has an idea that this is how it all got started, but she doesn't have any proof of it. But either way, she really hates Ed's pops. They really don't talk at all. That is really kind of the way that Mom is. When she's done with you, she is done. There's no going back. The only person I've ever known her to forgive for hurting her is Trianne. Mom bends over backwards to get along with her and to keep somewhat healthy relationship with my evil ass sister. It's really sad, and it makes me kind of mad because Trianne uses Mom up when she needs something, and then at other times she acts like Mom is her worst enemy. Oh wow, how could I forget? There was one more person that my mom seems to always give second chances to. Waleed. Waleed Jesper is my mom's 27-year-old boyfriend. They've been kicking it for about 1.5 years now. My brother Ed doesn't like Waleed being around him at all. He always says, that nigga ain't all that he say he is. Ed doesn't want him with Mom at all. Trianne says that Mom needs to grow up and find a man her own age. Again, I swear that girl is just jealous. She doesn't have a man of her own, her age, or otherwise. I don't have any problems with Waleed. I think he's really cool. He lives in the house with me and Mom, and he always really nice to me. Waleed's been living in the house with us for the last 9 months or so, and he has never made any type of gay slurs or said any rude comments about my walk or clothing choices. He always says stuff like, you gotta be you, baby boy. And he always tells me how important it is for me to be comfortable with myself. The crazy thing is, Waleed is the one that named me Topaz. I liked it, and it just stuck. My mom doesn't know that. He said we'll keep it between us so as not to piss Mom off. She says she's cool about my sexuality, but sometimes I'm not so sure. Anyway, Waleed said all the girls in your family have names that begin with a T. And you should too. He continued on explaining to me that he thinks that Topaz is the most beautiful and precious thing that he has ever seen, and he feels the name fits. So that's where I got the nickname from. Yet, I've never told anyone. Whenever Mom's in the house, Waleed calls me baby boy. But whenever no one else is around, he calls me Topaz, or T for short. Chapter 2. Jen sets it off. Child, what did she do? Jean. Eugene Baloo? I heard my mom calling and getting louder and louder. I slowly roll over and see my digital clock glaring 7:32 a.m. Gosh, is she serious? Just then, my door begins to open slowly, and I start to see a head of dreads peeking through the opening, and I hear, baby boy. I tried to act like I didn't hear him. A few seconds passed and he said, Topaz, don't play. I know you hear me. Get up. Your mom's calling you. I raised my head up a little and said, Waleed, it's too early. He chuckled and said, I know, but you know how she is. Get your little ass up before she bring her loud ass up here. Let's go, T. We got a lot of work to do before these folks start to showing up. With the wink of his eye, the dread started to disappear from my view, and the door began to close slowly. I laid there for another 5 minutes before I rose. I was excited, thinking this was the first time I would have friends of mine come over for a family cookout. It would put a smile on my face just thinking about it. For the first time, I could spend my time in conversations and interactions that truly involve me. This is going to be fun. Once I was fully dressed, I was ready to roll. I stood in front of my full-length mirror that hangs on the back of my bedroom door and took in my outfit. I was pleased with it. I was wearing a shirt that my friend Mike had made. He is an aspiring designer. The mesh, sleeveless tank was very fitted and cut off just above my navel, and the fabric looked like an American flag. It was perfect. It showed off my new belly button piercing, which was adorned with a miniature flag. I had on a dark pair of True Religion jeans that were loose at my waist and kind of laid right at my hip line. And of course, I had on a new pair of red, white, and blue Nikes. I looked hot. As I backed up from the mirror, pleased with my vision, I said to myself, Happy 4th of July. As I declined the stairs, I could hear my mom in the kitchen talking to Waleed. Where's that boy? He better get his ass on down here. I need him to mix this potato salad and season this chicken for the grill. Waleed snickered and replied, Come on, babe. You know damn well baby boy ain't fucking with that raw chicken and shit, and he gets his stuff all hooked up. Mom sneered. Huh? His pretty ass better go change this morning. At that moment, I hit the bin and stuck my head in the kitchen. Mom threw me a quick little smug look, and as I came into full view, she froze for a moment and said, Boy, what the hell is that? I said, What? That shit on your stomach. I know it better not be real. She blurted as she flopped into one of the kitchen chairs. It is, Ma. What's wrong with that? I paused and looked in her eyes. They were blank and just a little confused. The awkward silence was broken by the deep chuckle coming from the now visibly entertained Waleed. What's up, Tree? Let that boy do his thing. He ain't hurt nobody. My mom snapped at him. It just ain't necessary. That's all. What ain't necessary, babe? What is he doing? Y'all be tripping, man. Y'all need to leave that boy alone. Now standing in front of my mom and visibly irritated was Waleed's toned, 6'3", Adonis-like body. I just watched as my mom's demeanor faded like a patch of fog. She purred, You're right, boo. I'm tripping. Jean, go on and change some clothes so you can help me cook. Waleed looked over at me and winked. And though I felt a bit attacked by my mom, knowing Waleed had my back made the sting of it all fade quickly. As I cut out of the kitchen and went back around the bend to go back upstairs, I seen my mom grab the waistband of Waleed's denim shorts, which made the top button pop open, which loosened them enough that they came down a bit, exposing his pubic region. He grabbed the waistband and said, Chill, stop playing, Tree. Mom chuckled and cooed. I thought to myself, yuck. And does that boy ever wear underwear? That's like his trademark. Just running around going commando. He mostly wears sweats or basketball shorts, which basically exposes all his business. And he's got plenty of business to be seen. I guess that's where all my mom's cooing and purring stems from. Just a mess. We finally finished preparing all the food around 1:30 p.m. and I was jumping back out of the shower and getting redressed when I heard my sister's voice echoing through the house. Hey y'all! Happy 4th! I'm ready to get it in. And I'm so hungry. What we having? Then I heard my mom say, Hey, how you girls doing today? Thanks for coming over. Tree Ann brought her two good friends, Angie and Nady, with her. They are cool girls. I've never had any issues with them, though they do tend to get really tickled when Trianne acts out viciously. A few moments later, I heard Trianne say, "Where's my bro? I ain't seen that nigga in a minute." As I reached the end of the hallway and began down the staircase, I heard Mom say, "Getting dressed. You know how..." She abruptly interrupted when Trianne said, "Mom, please. I said my bro, not the family weirdo. You know damn well I ain't looking for him. I'm talking about Ed." Mom replied firmly, "Trianne, don't start that today." By this time, I had reached the bottom of the stairs, and Angie and Nadie said, "Hey, Jean." I just waved my hand and kept it moving toward the door. The bell was ringing. I was hoping it was my guest, but it wasn't. It was Waleed's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jesper. They are a very nice couple. They're both in their 50s, and Waleed is their only child. He always tells me he is spoiled. Sometimes when him and Mom get to going, she calls him a mama's boy. He hates it. I invited them in and told them I would go and tell Waleed that they had arrived. They came in and headed for the kitchen area where everyone was beginning to gather. I started up the stairs and I could hear the shower in my mom's room was not on, so I tapped on the bedroom door and then opened it. As I opened the door, I got stopped in my tracks, standing there, looking like a perfectly chiseled, naked statue, was Waleed putting on lotion. I was stuck right there where I stood, and I nervously said, "Waleed, I'm sorry, I thought you were dressed. I didn't hear the shower, but anyway, your mom and dad are here." Without flinching or trying to hide his nakedness, he chuckled and said, "Okay, and don't worry about it. You got the same thing I do. No harm done." As I fought to make my feet go into a motion to get me out of there, I told myself, "Yeah, we got the same thing. But surely I was not giving as much as you. Damn." As I reached the bottom of the staircase, the bell rang again. When I got to the door, I was so happy. This time, it was my guest. Standing there on my porch was Mike, Quan, and Jamal. "Come on in, y'all." Mike entered the door first and whispered in my ear, "Hey, Topaz, sexy ass." Quan came right behind him, and I was ready to shut the door. I noticed Jamal was standing on the porch. I said, "What's up, JJ?" He replied, "Child, is your sister up in here?" I said, "Yes, she's here, and she done already said some old slick shit out of her mouth about me. But don't worry, she don't know you. She won't bother you." You see, Jamal is like my therapist when it comes to dealing with the things I go through with Trianne. Though he has never met her, he knows how she gets down. I tell him a lot that he is more of a sister to me than she is. Quan came back to the door and grabbed Jamal's hand and said, "Come on, baby. You worry too much." Quan is a cool ass dude. He and Jamal, JJ as we call him, have been dating since we were in 9th grade. Well, JJ is a lot like me, flamboyant and quite noticeably gay. If Quan didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. The same kind goes for Mike. Other than his love for fashion, there is nothing feminine about him at all. The girls at school are always on him. He's even dated a few of them, but nothing serious has come out of any of that business. He said he is waiting on me so that he can get settled down. Whatever. I like Mike and I find him to be attractive, but I don't know if I like him like that. Though he is so nice to me and always makes me clothes and stuff, buys me little gifts. I mean, he is really a sweet person. He understands that I'm not ready to be sexually active, and he doesn't even push that. He says he's cool with it, and whenever I'm ready, he's down to be my first. I know that he is sincere. I did let him kiss me once last summer. It was okay until he proceeded to try to touch me below the belt. I broke from his embrace and ran all the way home. It kind of scared me. It was too much, way too fast. He apologized constantly for 4 months. I kept telling him everything was cool, but he kept apologizing. I led my friends to the now quite full kitchen. All eyes were on us. As I said, hey everyone, I'd like to introduce you all to my best friends in the world. This is Quan, Mike, and JJ. It's their first time with us. Let's make them feel welcome. Not 2 seconds later, I hear a little rumbling and laughter coming from the corner where Trianne and her two friends were sitting. I shot her a dirty look, and she stands up and walks over towards the fridge and says aloud, "Oh, great. More Fruit Loops." Mom stood up and said, "Welcome to our home, guys. Help yourself to whatever you like. We have plenty. We're glad to finally meet you all. Jean talks about y'all all the time." At that time, Waleed stood up next to my mom and said, "Yeah, fellas, if y'all need anything, let one of us know. And thanks for coming over to spend time with my baby boy." I was pretty impressed at how my family was trying to clean up Trianne's rude comment. Waleed's dad, Mr. Jester, said, "Yeah, happy 4th of July. Let's eat, everybody." Trianne left the room like a spoiled child, and her friends followed behind her. So, we all got our plates together and something to drink, and walked out of the sliding glass doors in our kitchen onto the deck where several other family members were gathering. My Uncle Joe hollered out, "What's up, Lil G? Come give your uncle some love." I walked over and gave him a hug. Uncle Joe is my mom's older brother. He is 35 and still lives with my grandma. He has a decent job working for the city, but never got his own place. He'll move out and go live with different women from time to time, but always ends back up with grandma. But when my grandfather was still living, he couldn't stand it. He always said, "Joseph, you need to get yourself an address. What kind of grown-ass man ain't got no address?" Boy, would they go at it about that comment. It still makes me laugh to this day. Uncle Joe said, "Boy, let me see what this outfit is doing that you wearing." My uncle gave me one good long look and said, "I like that shit for you. That shit's nice, Nell. I don't know where you find that kind of shit. It don't be in the store when I'm in there." I laughed and told my uncle about Mike making my shirt. He said, "Hell yeah, that's what's up. Y'all come on over and meet Uncle Joe. If y'all friends of my nephew, then y'all my nephews too. Y'all the niggas come give me some love." I introduced them to my uncle one at a time. He gave Quan and Mike a pound, and when he got to JJ, JJ extended his hand to get a pound. When my uncle held his head back and bust out laughing. A look of confusion fell over JJ's face, and all at once my uncle pulled JJ to him and embraced him and said, "Don't ever try to be something you're not with Uncle Joe. You hear me? I'm cool with everything about me. I get more pussy than I can use. I love my nephew, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That's my little Gene. I love him like a son. I always said my sis had him for me. I ain't got no kids. I can't have none." I interrupted. "Uncle Joe, you ain't got to..." "Hush up, Nep. It's cool. I want your friends to know where I'm coming from. Come over here, little niggas. Y'all sit down with your Uncle Joe. I'ma spit some shit at y'all." We all sat down. There were about 4 or 5 of my older cousins sitting outside on the benches and tables on the deck. And Uncle Joe had the floor as he began to speak again. "Back some years ago, I was with the woman I love. We was perfect together, man. I believe she was the only woman I really been in love with. And I done had plenty of women. I ain't gonna lie. Her name was Teresa, just like my baby sis. Spelled the same and everything. I asked her to marry me, and we found out about a month later that she was knocked up. Man, I was happy. Then my world got all fucked up. We was coming home from a party on New Year's Eve. The snow was bad as shit, man. I was being real careful, you know. I had my wifey and she was carrying my little shorty. All the traffic had slowed down because there was an accident up ahead. We eventually came to a standstill. We were there about 10 minutes or so when out of nowhere, I heard some sliding and skidding and shit. And when I looked in the mirror, I could see the car coming and wasn't shit I could do. They hit us in the back, which pushed us into the car in front of us. It happened so fucking quick. I kept calling Teresa's name, but she didn't say shit. She was unconscious, which didn't really make me worry right away. The ambulance and all got there kind of quick. Fuck. I was up at him. Nothing was wrong with him. I just felt like I got shook around real bad. Like a badass kid with a big ass head. Know what I mean? Then I seen my boo. She was all bloody and shit. Her seatbelt had broken and then none of her airbags came out, which we found out later was due to a defect with my ride. The impact had slammed her head into the windshield and her belly into the dashboard. Her and the baby were pronounced dead on the scene. Jesus. They told me that she didn't suffer because she was gone on impact. That didn't make me feel no better. I was fucked up. I was walking around in the daze for about 2 days. I was over at my mom and dad's because I couldn't stand going back to the apartment that we lived in. I was coming down the steps on the 3rd day, and out of nowhere, it felt like somebody grabbed my balls and locked them in a vice grip. I passed the fuck out. When I woke up, I was at the emergency room. They told me I had been walking around in shock. And what they found out is that when the steering wheel hit my stomach, it fucked my shit up. I was bleeding on the inside. And long story short, I have a fucked up sperm count, and now I can't produce babies. It was fucked up. I got some good money out of all of it, but I would give it all back in a second for me to have my family back. And the really fucked up thing is, Teresa's family still don't want to have shit to do with me. They blame me for the death, even with all the evidence. But about 2 months later, I found out my sister's dude was spanking that ass, and I had to come over and spank his. Dude was a trip. But after whooping on that ass and eventually moving in with my sis and her oldest 2 kids, we found out that my sis was pregnant. And all that fighting and shit was fucking with the baby. Her pregnancy was shitty. It was hell, man. So I stayed over here with her. She ended up on bed rest. But about 5.5 months later, came the prettiest baby I ever seen, man. I looked up at my uncle and he had a tear in his eye. He got up and walked over to me and put his hands on my shoulder and said, "That was my nephew. I knew I was going to take care of him for the rest of my life, man. My sister almost lost him a couple times during her pregnancy. I kept telling her, don't worry, that this is my baby and God wouldn't take 2 of them from me. And when little Gene came, man, it was the first day of the rest of my life. I always told your mom, he ain't got to worry about nothing. That's my baby." I was absolutely in tears by this time. I knew some of the story, but I had never heard the whole ordeal. Everybody was kind of quiet as well. With tears streaming down his face, JJ looked at me and said, "You are blessed to have somebody to love you like that." My uncle walked over to JJ and grabbed his arm and said, "What's up? Your family don't accept you and shit?" JJ looked up and said, "No, not really." My uncle grabbed him in a tight hug and said, "Fuck that. You got family here. You hear me? Now go get your uncle. Go. Now you got your uncle named Joe. And if a motherfucker get wrong, tell him Joe Baloo will fuck some shit up." Uncle Joe got a bad mouth. Woo. I'm serious, Lil J. You're our family now. Fuck that dumb shit. He kissed JJ on the forehead as he released him from his embrace. My other cousins that were sitting in that area nodded in agreement, and a couple of them said, "Yeah, you part of the family now." Just as the mood began to come a little lighter, and we were all really enjoying ourselves on the deck, Trianne and her 2 friends came out of the sliding door. Natty said, "Hey, Jean, I wanted to tell you I love your outfit. You look real cute. And what's your other friend's name? That has a belly shirt on?" I said, "Yeah, Mike made both of our shirts, and his name is..." My uncle chimed in, "You talk about this pretty little motherfucker here?" As he pulled JJ over by his arm, "This my new nephew, Lil J." Natty said, "I know that's right, Mr. Joe. I do like what y'all wearing. Y'all look hot." Then out of nowhere, I heard, "Them faggots do not look hot. That bullshit ain't cute, and that bitch is no relation to us. It's bad enough we got one that we can't get rid of." Everyone just got quiet and looked. I said, Trianne, why don't you go somewhere and sit down? Ain't nobody bothering you. You've been at it all day and nobody is interested. We're trying to have a good time. She started walking towards me yelling, you damn right ain't nobody gonna bother me. I'll turn this motherfucker out. Fuck you and your weird ass friends. Especially you and the other funny dressing bitch running around in them half shirts. Y'all ain't no girls. Niggas in the streets are laughing at your asses. Don't nobody like that bullshit. I looked in JJ's face. I could see the tears welling up in his eyes. I know that's when he was getting to the point when he was about to go off. I walked over and grabbed his hand and said, I'm so sorry. Please ignore her ignorant ass. A few seconds later, she had turned her rant onto Mike and Quan. She sat in front of them and said, why y'all want to be some fags? Y'all look normal, but y'all some bitch ass niggas too. That shit is disgusting. My Uncle Joe yelled out, shut the fuck up and go on somewhere, Trianne. That shit don't make no sense. Go the fuck on, girl. Trianne tried to base up at my uncle. I ain't gotta go nowhere. This is my mother's house. You don't like what I got to say? You can leave and take all them sweet tarts with you. Fucking bitches. Disclaimer. My mom had reached the deck by then and figured out what was going on. My uncle said, Teresa, that girl is tripping, and I'm not having her talk to me like that. My mom replied, I know, Joe. I'm going to talk to her. My uncle slammed his hand on the table he was sitting at. Talk? Ain't nothing left to say. She need her ass whooped. She on some old bullshit. I love you, sis, but I'm out. My uncle proceeded to leave out of her yard through the back gate. He was so mad that he wouldn't even walk through the house to get to his car, which was parked in the front of the house. As he reached the end of the yard, he hollered, I love y'all, all my nephews, new and old. You hear me? Uncle Joe loves y'all. All the cousins that were sitting out there with us left as well. I took my guests and had them follow me in the house. As I reached the kitchen, I could see Waleed and his parents sitting there. I immediately started to apologize to them for all of the commotion. Waleed said, baby boy, don't do that. We heard the whole thing. Y'all ain't done nothing to apologize for. I could tell right away he was pissed off with the situation. Miss Jesper said, don't worry about it, sweet baby. We heard it all before. Me and Wade are old. You name it, we seen it and heard it. Why don't you take your guests out into the front porch and try to enjoy the rest of this day? You children are gracious. You took quite a few hard verbal blows and handled yourselves like true gentlemen. And that is to be celebrated. Mr. Jesper nodded his head in agreement. Just as we were leaving the kitchen, the back door flew open and in came Trianne like a bolt of lightning. She was screaming something about hating me and being tired of being embarrassed when I'm around. I couldn't hear it all because by the time I was trying to zero in on what she was saying, my face had hit the wall. She had a death grip on the back of my shirt and she was punching me repeatedly. I eventually lost my balance and was on the ground face down. Trianne weighs over 200 pounds and she is solid. I couldn't move. She continued to punch me in my back and in the back of my head. Everything was moving so quickly that some of it is still a blur. Waleed leaped up and grabbed Trianne off of me. I remember him yelling, "Are you crazy?" As he was getting her off of me, she was pulling my shirt, which was now torn a bit, and the mesh was choking me pretty badly. In the midst of it, I did catch a glimpse of Mike being dragged down the hallway to the front door by Quan and JJ. I am glad. I wouldn't have wanted him involved any further in this fiasco. By the time I was free, I was laying on the kitchen floor and my mom was screaming at Waleed not to hit Trianne. Waleed was screaming back, "I would never do that. I would never hit a woman. All I was doing is stopping her from killing your son." Mr. and Mrs. Jesper had helped me up off the floor by this time, and we were standing near the entrance to the hallway. Wally was still holding Trianne as she was trying to break free to attack me again. He told her to calm down or he wasn't going to let her go. As I stood there looking like I had been in a train wreck, I could not believe what I was hearing. At this point, my mom was going on a rant and saying, "The two of you have ruined this holiday and it doesn't make any sense." It was classic. Trianne acts a fool, but total blame is never given to her for her antics. Well, I'd had enough. This time she had taken it too far. I said to my mom, "Are you serious? Are you going to sit there and act like you didn't watch this whole ridiculous episode unfold?" She started being mean and talking crap about me the moment she came into the house today. Yeah, I heard the cow talking mess before I came down the steps earlier. I'm sick of this crap. I was abruptly interrupted by my mom. "I what, boy? And I'll not have you talk shit to me, 'cause I'll set this motherfucker off." I couldn't believe my ears. I just walked down the hall and out of the front door into the porch. All of my guests were gone. I was absolutely embarrassed and disgusted. After about 20 minutes, Mr. and Mrs. Jesper came out and Mrs. Jesper said, "Sweet baby, you're coming home with us tonight. I smoothed it over with your mama and we think it's best that you sleep over with us and everyone will have time to cool off. We love this family and want the best for all of you. Just come on. You don't need anything. You can use any of the stuff that is in Wally's room." I said, "Thank you so much." I followed them down the front steps and into their car. As I continued crying the whole 20-minute drive over to Jesper's home. And scene. We're going to take a brief intermission. I'm going to let you know what you're doing. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax, kick up your feet as we get into this week's read. Tonight we'll be reading Loving Topaz, a novella by James Colwell. Head on over to Amazon.com and download your books today. Come and support our authors. But we're going to get into this book. Loving Topaz. Tell a friend to tell a friend and then tell their friends. We over here reading, y'all. But let's get into this book. Are you ready? Shh. Hey. All right, so welcome back. Baby, that was chapter 1 and chapter 2. I was going to go over into chapter 3, but chapter 2 was long enough. Because we'll be done, went over our time. But I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 1 and chapter 2, honey. I swear, Trianne is a whole mess. I'm going to drop the link just in case anybody wants to come up here and discuss the first 2 chapters that we have read. What do you guys think so far of Loving Topaz? I hope you guys have got your books. If not, you can download it. And if you're coming in late, you can always rewind and go back and listen. Otherwise, you can go over to my podcast and also listen. I will upload it over there as well. But when I tell you, honey, baby boy, Topaz, sweet baby, Gene, Eugene, and all the other stuff that Sister Trianne called him. He got all these names, honey. But I can't deal because that Trianne is a whole mess. She want to get beat up in real life. She will be getting beat up in real life. Okay, if that was my sister. I can't deal. And why is the mother blaming him when he just wanted to have fun? And like he said, he heard her when she came back in there. When she came in the house, first of all, he heard her with her little snide comments. Sephora said, why do people call him Topaz? So Waleed is the only one that calls him Topaz. And Waleed is the mother's boyfriend. So he's the only one that calls Eugene Gene. He's the only one that calls him Topaz. So nobody else knows that name except for the friend Mike. I think Mike called him Topaz when he was coming in the house. Other than that, nobody else knows that name. The mother doesn't know Topaz. The sisters, nobody knows Topaz. Waleed felt like everybody, all the other people in the house, the girls, I guess, in their family, names start with a T. Teresa, which is the mom's name, and Trianne, which is the sister's name. So the boyfriend wanted to give him his own nickname, so he wouldn't be, I guess, left out. Because as we can see, the boy's name starts with an E. Edward is the other brother, and Eugene is his name. Oh, yes, for sure. The sister would get a major beatdown. I don't care. In real life, listen, we brother and sister. That whole don't hit a girl thing, that don't go over with your siblings. I'm sorry. Cause me and my brother never like fought like that. But if my brother would have hit me, I would have been like, oh my God, he hit me because I'm a girl. No, we fighting because you my brother. Now on the outside, that's different. But Sister Tree, she can get it. In real life. Okay? Sister Tree can get it. So I'm just ready to see what's all gonna happen because we gonna hope this don't turn into Lord, because you know he walked in on Waleed being naked, and so we gonna hope that Waleed ain't under the bus too, or under the pew, between the pew. We gonna hope Waleed ain't another thug pastor from between pews. We gonna hope that that's not where he is. But hey, we never know. I can never get over the name Trianne. How does he spelled it Triann. Triann. Okay. So don't any of my siblings can get it. Okay? For real. We will see. Hope that name means something. What? Topaz? But I think he said he named him that because that's a beautiful gem. And you know, Topaz is part of the rainbow. So he felt like Topaz needed a name that was going to fit him because he said, Topaz he's a beautiful individual. And he needed a name that started with the letter T. So, but yes. Do you guys have any questions about the book? Just in case, well, when Jane watches the replay, if y'all have any questions, y'all can put them in the chat. Maybe he can answer them in the comment section of that. But while I'm waiting, let me go through my little church announcements. If you made it to the end of this video and you have not subscribed, why? I mean, you made it to the end. You like what you were hearing, right? Subscribe. And if you did not catch the other series of the books that I've read, these are also James books, and I've read those. So Between Pews and Boys Like Me, I've read those as well. So you guys can go check that out. You can also listen if you like to listen to the books on the go. Go on over to my podcast, anchor.fm/almondbrown09, and those books are also uploaded over there, and you can listen to it in your car while you riding, while you working. No, you ain't supposed to be working, but you got your little earpiece in. Hide it with your hair. This mine tonight, so. But you can hide it with your hair or whatever and listen to the reads. Or if you came in late, like I said, you can go back. If you are an author, you can email me at almondbrown09@gmail.com, and we'll discuss me reading your book. But for now, I will be reading the Topaz series. And guess what, you guys? I had another author to hit me up and wants to wants me to read his book. So I will be reading that book after this series. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. So with that being said, because he's going to provide the book for me, I had to go get a P.O. box. So I will be providing you guys with that information. And if you are an author, you can, like I said, email me so we can get that correspondence going. And then you can, if you want to send the book, you can send the book to my P.O. box. If you're on Instagram, follow me over there on Instagram, instagram.com/almondbrown09. I upload every Monday the Almond Delights Reading Corner. We will be here 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless something else comes about, I will let you guys know ahead of time. But for the most part, I will be here every Monday at 9 p.m. reading the book. Normally, if this is your first time here, thank you for joining us over here at the Reading Corner. We usually go about 45 minutes to an hour for every read, and typically that's about 2 chapters of the book. So if you have the book, don't read the book until you come back to the Reading Corner, okay? Do not read the book, because I want all of us to have the same reaction to the book unless you already read the book. But still, come back and just listen to it be read aloud. You know, it's different when, you know, you have the expressions and everything else from the book. So y'all come back and listen to it. Then if y'all see James out in the street, tell him thank him for allowing us to read his book over here at the Reading Corner. And if you like it, after this video is over, please come back and leave a comment. And you know what that does and what that helps with? That helps to push the videos out so other people can see us over here at the Reading Corner. So, and another author, if they want to, they can contact me for us to continue this Reading Corner. So y'all liking the video or disliking the video, whichever one you want to do, and coming back and commenting under the video, it helps put us in the algorithm so we can be seen by other people, right? So do that for me if you don't mind. Also on Tuesday nights, we will be doing hopefully tomorrow we'll have time to do it. We will start having a trivia night. Is it for money? No, we don't know. However the Lord lead me. But for now, we will be having a delightful trivia every Tuesday, as opposed to doing the Who's on the Line. For now, we're going to put that back there somewhere. We'll be doing delightful trivia. And Sephora C is our hostess with the mostest. I'm just moderating it. Thanks, Sephora. She's in the chat. She said, have you heard of Jackie Collins? No, I have not. If that's an author, you can email her and let her know what's going on over here at the Almond Delights Reading Corner. And if she would like her books to be read aloud, then I would need to talk with her so she can release those rights so I can read them. Okay? But if nobody else is going to come up, then I'm going to end it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the book. We'll be back here next week. And like I said, tomorrow night, maybe around 9 o'clock, I'll talk to my hostess with the mostest, my twin, Sephora C, and we will see what we will be doing then. I want to thank you guys. Oh, Louie just reminded me real quick. If y'all can, please put your chocolate and your sun emojis in the chat. And what that signifies is just love. We bring love and light over here. And so if you can put that in the chat, let me know that you guys enjoyed this read. And that also shows each other, you know, that while you're here and over here, that it's all love. It's all good. And I appreciate y'all for doing that. Thank you very much. Jackie is legendary. She is a sister of Joan Collins from Dynasty. Oh, okay. Ew. She's amazing. She has amazing books. She passed last year, but I would message her team. Oh, okay. Yes, please do. Because, honey, I ain't trying to get sued. I ain't trying to get my channel be stricken. I ain't trying to get none of that. I ain't, you know, I'm hovering off the ground. I ain't shot up there yet, but I ain't trying to get my channel taken down yet. Well, not even yet. Oh, Lord, I rebuke that spirit. But I ain't trying to get my channel taken for reading somebody's book that I didn't have permission to, okay? But thank you, Spilly Boy, for coming. And I would check out her, but Sephora, if you can, hit her up and see what she says. Lord, she told y'all to study the world map. She said study the world map for the trivia. Delightful trivia tomorrow night at 9 p.m. prayerfully. Wow, that would be amazing. I've never heard of her. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look her up. You said Jackie Collins. Let me put that in my church notes. Hold on, cause I will forget. Jackie Collins. My first time at your book reading and I love it. Thank you, Janice. I hope you subscribed and become an Almond Delight. You said Jackie Collins. Okay. Her titles of her books are everything. Lord Jesus, honey. Y'all got me scared already. Y'all got me scared already. But anyways, I'm not going to keep y'all much longer because y'all know I will start to ramble on. But like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get all of my uploads. Meet me back here next week for another read in the Almond Delights Reading Corner. Hopefully you guys will download your books. If you have Kindle, or you can download the Kindle app from your Apple Store or whatever y'all call that, child. The Play Store or the Google Play Store and all that other good stuff, honey. I don't have Apple. Whatever y'all call it, go download Kindle because the copy of this book is free to download on your Kindle app, or you can order the book off of Amazon.com. It's only $14.95. Y'all spend that money at McDonald's. Okay? So go support our author and go get the book. Thank you. I will talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for joining me again here at Almond Delights Reading Corner. I will see y'all tomorrow at Delightful Trivia. I love you guys with the love of God. And there is what? Nothing you can do about it. I want to thank my armor bearers, a.k.a. my moderator, Shadil, and B-Scales. I don't know if she was here tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I love y'all. Talk to y'all next week. Bye. Thank you all for joining another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. I pray that you enjoyed yourself and you're relaxing your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. Come back and join us again next week as we continue our reading. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Be blessed and enjoy your evening.